Okay, good afternoon. So I think we're live. Welcome today to another webinar from the series of Ladies Build with AI. I think it's our third webinar, so welcome everybody who have already joined before or new subscribers. I'm really happy to give you like a 1 hour of a little teaser of how we're actually going to use AI to build whatever it is, our workflows, our websites, our apps. You can think about anything these days. So the session is called Learn How to Build with AI. And today, particularly, I want to focus on the topic of automation because I'm getting a lot of questions on like, how can I be more productive? How can I save more time with AI? How can I basically speed up the repetitive stuff and just use AI, smash it like on all those processes that I spend a lot of time in, and I can just get back to some other things whilst this is happening in the background. So we're going to talk about this today, and I actually have a little challenge for myself to build it live. So it's going to be super exciting. Let's see how far I can get. But before maybe we start with everything around automation, for those of you who don't know me and don't know Ladies Build with AI, my name is Marta, and I'm the founder of Ladies Build with AI. And the reason why I'm doing this, and I'm also helping other women to get into AI space, is that I used AI to really pivot my own career last year. And I noticed that a lot of startups, a lot of new concepts are created, and we really need more women in that space as well. And that's why my mission is to just get as many women possible to be really hands-on with AI and not only use it for writing your emails or a draft for a really punchy social media post, but actually take it to the next level and really do something more serious with it. So the mission is to empower more women to step into the world of AI, not only just as consumers, but really as creators. And I'm going to show you in a second how today we can take step one, and also with Ladies Built with AI courses, how I can enable you to do more of that and not just be the consumer. So what is it exactly that we do at Ladies Built with AI? We have online courses. So those are very hands-on, practical, very quick sessions. We're going to meet up for 3 evenings or 3 mornings for 2 hours approximately. And we're going to apply the AI theory that we have built so far into practice. So put it either into building a very simple exercise like your first sleep tracker app that I'm going to show you in a second, or we'll really taking it further. If you have an idea, if you have something from your own that you also want to build and launch, we're actually going to use that as input for the course. So you'll actually, at the end of day 3 or evening 3, you can showcase what you've built to the internet, basically, because you have something which is live, which is launched and deployed. It's a series of online courses, but if you're interested, I'm actually right now also venturing into more in-person events. So if you're in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands, let me know if you also want to meet up face-to-face and do those things in person. Or if you also feel like you have a team, or maybe you want to get your colleagues involved. I also organize private workshops, so let me know after this one if you're interested, and we can talk further. So just to give you an example with what is it that we actually build with AI, we looked into a podcast search engine. So for those of you that are maybe not getting all the good search results with Spotify, we've built a very simple recommendation engine where, based on a particular topic that you like to listen to, you get a list of real-time podcasts that match that particular podcast. And actually, the website that you see down below from Offline Glamping, it's a project that we have right now running with one of the students. She has a running website, she has her business, and she challenged me and the community in the course to use AI to redesign her existing website. So we're actually going to build that this week and in the next session. Really looking forward to see how the end result would be. And on the right-hand side, just as I mentioned before, the sleep tracker is one of the exercises that we usually take on day 1. So even if you are starting and within the first hour, you already have something that you've built yourself, which is a sleep tracker. which is pretty cool if you haven't seen or touched code before in your life. And it's really empowering and giving other women a lot of enthusiasm to have something built on their own. And one of the students have also looked into her credit card history, and she wanted to automate that process and get basically notifications in her account every time there were credit card deals that were matching her criteria. And if she was eligible for a particular credit card, she would get that notification with real-time deals that are interesting to her. So really cool to see those examples popping more and more. And what I'm also excited to see is that after those courses, the participants are also really stoked and really pumped to kind of share the recommendations. So it does go to show that those things work, and really inviting hopefully other participants to take AI to the next level and to really help you build your own stuff. So that's enough for Ladies Built with AI, because today we're here also for other things. We really want to use that hour, use that lunchtime to get ourselves empowered and also understand what's the current situation with AI, but also how is kind of the gender gap looking at the moment. And it's really important to, well, familiarize yourself with the studies and just the general news about how like the AI adoption happens within men and women. And there's really an interesting Harvard Business Review article that was published, I think somewhere around February this year. And they actually studied the adoption of AI between men and women at workplace. And not only they found that women were just using AI less than men, in general, but they also found that the way that women were using AI was totally different than men. And that also kind of showed the risk aversion, the kind of resistance to change that women had, not only with AI, but also in technology in general, that they found was alarming, and also kind of being, a signal to greater gender gap in the future on how AI will actually take over not only the jobs that are very repetitive that women usually have, but also just like adjusting to the new toolings. That's where they found that women really need to speed up. And not only that, but if we are also not using AI in a way that creates new businesses, right? So the demand for business, for entrepreneurship, but also for funding, we'll see that the supply is also low. So you can see on the second stat that the amount of funding for female-only or female founder businesses is also really, really depressing. You would think in the US that they're kind of front runner on this on the scene. There's a lot of VC funding out there, but you can see that when it comes to female-founded businesses, it's not even 1% this year. And that's actually been the lowest since they've been measuring this level since 2013. So you can see that if we're also not getting involved, if we're not on that space, if we're not creating businesses and being, like more efficient ourselves, the supply is very low to support those businesses further. So hopefully with more demand, we'll also create more supply for VC funding. And also on the flip side of how technical do you need to be these days to create those businesses, to build something on your own? That's not actually something that's a big criteria these days to get funding. And Y Combinator, which is kind of like an incubator for startups in the Silicon Valley, there are loads and loads of companies that don't even have a CTO. They just use really AI to generate their code bases. So even without having this technical background or an education in computer science or whatever, like you don't have to have that to actually get into those incubators anymore. And actually, it's something to be even more proud of if you say like you can build something with less resources or faster or just more creative. That's where you're in the spotlight, because that shows that you're just more productive and more agile in general. So it's good to have those things in mind. not only as a way to motivate, but also as a kind of way to understand how the current scene is looking, and that we really need more diversity when this innovation is happening at such a high speed. So today we're talking about automation, because I do get a lot of those questions like, how can I just be more productive, save more time, and preferably have more money, which we all probably want to have. But a couple of concepts that I want to throw here and there just to educate you on things that are really showing up more and more in the news and in the AI world, and that's the AI agents and agentic AI. Those are not things that you can use interchangeably because they're not the same things. So if we're talking about AI agents, those are very simple, kind of like your little assistants that are helping you with your tasks, that are simple, that are just, if this, then that kind of logic, but you still need a human in the loop to not only program them, but kind of steer them in the right way. So those are really simple things that you can also stop if you want. And, you're the one as human to be in charge of that flow. Whilst agentic AI is just more like level. So that's usually when we have a network of agents working with each other, or we have a system that is able to independently make decisions and solve problems. And even if it doesn't solve problem in the way that we would expect it to solve, it will still learn from it and improve. So it's kind of like a self-reinforcing system. So it's a really next level thing, but that's definitely not something that we can say that it's a synonym to each other, because those two things are meant for different things and for different kind of complexities. And if you look on the right-hand side, in the top right corner, that's a logo from Perplexity Comet. So that's a new browser that appeared maybe like 2 months ago. If you're familiar with Perplexity, you probably have been using it like a traditional LLM or just to search things. So you have probably not been using Google anymore at this point, because Perplexity is really good. But they now also launched their own browser. So they actually want you to stay within their Perplexity ecosystem. So let's say you will be not only searching things, but like in this example here, someone is just giving an outline of how they want to plan their day, and they're asking Perplexity to create from A to B to C to D, kind of the layout in the Google Maps. So you could do that yourself, right? We can all open Google Map and kind of, look at different places, see what's like in the area. But here it's actually, you're giving a particular instruction and the AI agent is doing this for you. And you're still staying within the same browser. So I would invite you to go and check it out. Go check out also the demo videos that Perplexity Comet has to show you the use cases, how you can use the browser, and also just maybe speed up some of your activities with Perplexity Comet. And the image that's here below, it's B2A, which is an interesting new concept. It's called business to agent. So probably all of you are familiar with B2C or B2B. So those are like the traditional business models. But there's actually a new business model coming up, which is called business to agents, because you can imagine if we will be building our own agents, our own kind of assistants, or maybe they'll be all talking to each other, we'll probably have like a lot of those things on the enterprise level as well. So we need to create new business models that allow to have that agent or agentic AI component in the loop. So today, I'm not going to explain about all the theory about that. I just invite you to get familiarized with those terms and also start learning and checking out news. And maybe there are some interesting articles and research papers on that, because those things will only keep on coming more and more also on the workflow, in the workforce. So also just on top of that with toolings, because I've mentioned Perplexity Comet, so the new browser, but there are loads and loads of different tools. So on the left-hand side, you probably are familiar with tools like Zapier, or maybe if you're in marketing or you have like a lot of different admin stuff that you want to speed up and automate, there are tools like n8n or Gumloop that help you with this traditional workflow automation type of systems. And then on the middle section, you actually see really like the AI agent tools like the Perplexity Comet, but also Perplexity Labs. They have a different also way of working with AI agents called Perplexity Labs. If you have a ChatGPT Pro or any kind of above the upgraded subscription package, you also have access to GPT Agent. So they also now release agents on their end, but also check Claude Code from Anthropic, which is ironically not only for people that can code, but there are also use cases like in marketing or finding keywords for your SEO or having some kind of analysis of your competitors. You can also do that in Claude Code. So you don't need to code, but like instructing the AI agent to do this for you. I've also worked in Manus, so it was one of the first AI agents out there. So definitely go and have a look. And then on the right-hand side, those are more of the agentic AI systems. Those are more like enterprise level, where entire infrastructures are right now and architectures are built around how we can actually allow all of those agents to work with each other. And what do we need for it? So if you think of commerce, where a lot of things are right now being spoken about, agentic commerce, where we as end users will not at some point go through different online stores and browse and shop and repurchase. Those will be all system of agents that will be doing this for us. So we need a particular ecosystem, infrastructure, protocols, all of that. And that's more on the right-hand side, more of the complex and heavy toolings. So there's been a lot. I've been talking a lot about tools, about automation. But today I want to show you something very simple, because you can now also build your own AI agents. So kind of like your own assistants to help you with something very simple. Or if you have maybe a repetitive task or something at work that you just want to automate, and you also want to have this AI agent component in it, you can do this with tools like n8n. So here in this example, I've actually created something super simple, like let's say I'm driving in a car and I'm running late for a meeting. Usually I would need to grab my phone, type a message, maybe call that person, or just reschedule something in general. But right now what I can do is I can talk to my phone where an AI agent is opened and just say things like, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm running late, so can you send this and this person that I'll have a meeting with, that I'll be late. And an agent is grabbing this information from my calendar. It creates a Gmail, in this case, email with the right email address, and it just sends a message that I'll be late, as you can see here on the right-hand side. And I actually want to quickly show you, because you might think, okay, this is great, it's just screenshots. Like, how have you built this? Just to show you quickly the interface of n8n, because it's a tool that you can use. As you can see, I'm still on a trial version, so you can definitely try it out for 2 weeks for free. And I've built this system where it's just a very simple kind of talking to OpenAI agent in this case, but you can also check different models like Gemini or Claude. And so you can see in the chat, because I can hide it and I can open chat. So I've written in the chat that as a kind of second message, I said, I'm actually on time now, so send an update to Dana that I will be on time. And it did that, because this is the second email. It actually here generated a draft where it was talking to Dana that I will be on time. Obviously here I'm not sending an email, because it's just, to show you like a training purpose. So I'm not like literally sending the email at this point, but I've instructed the bot for now to just create a draft, because otherwise I'll be spamming people, like real people, like crazy. But you can definitely apply this to send a message flow. And let me just now show you that, for example, I'll say, never mind, I'm actually going to be on time. So apologize for the back and forth, and tell Dana that no, actually I have to say I'm not going to be on time. That I'll have to reschedule the meeting to another day. Something like this. And I hit enter. And then what it does, you can see here, it's live actually carrying out this workflow. So whatever that is it that I've built in n8n is actually going step by step. So I talked right now to an AI agent, which is in this case OpenAI. You can see that the output is never mind, I'm not going to be on time, so apologize, and send an email that I'll have to reschedule. And let's actually check if that's what it's done. Well, there you go. So it created a draft right now because I told specifically in n8n to create a draft, but I can also tell it to actually send it. And here it says, it just created in my email a draft saying with the right subject line saying, apologies for the back and forth, but I want to inform you that I won't be able to make it on time today. I'll need to reschedule our meeting to another day, blah, 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 blah. So like, I haven't typed this myself. I just instructed AI agent to kind of briefly say like, you know what, I'm actually really not going to make it. We need to reschedule, send an email now. And it's done it. So this workflow, super simple. You can also add some other nodes to it. So all of those steps are nodes. Whatever is it that you need, you can customize it, but at least just to show you that those things are already possible. And I didn't instruct it saying, if I'm late, here is the output. Like I'm literally saying this to an agent, just for an agent to write the message on its own, send it, and just kind of be a little bit more autonomous than just me programming every single step. But I know this can be a little bit too much and confusing for the first time. So if you've never really used any automation flows before, or you are not familiar with n8n, I actually today want to take you to even a simpler flow. So we're going to do something beginner level, and I'm going to do this live. And I'll also leave you with some of the materials afterwards. You can actually do this yourself, just as a play around kind of experiment to learn to get into that flow of how can I actually build something? How do I like translate something repetitive to, you know, an architecture of a flow that I can build it in n8n and then just basically add on top of that. So just being more productive, like step by step. So we're going to automate something which is a spreadsheet. We have a Google Sheet that I've pulled from whatever system you can have. A Google spreadsheet which has a couple of data. It has the names of people, it has the email addresses, and the flow in this case is that I had an event, and as a follow-up, I want to onboard people that have attended the event. I want to welcome them. And for those of the people that have attended the event, but they haven't scheduled a demo call yet, I want to send kind of like a reminder saying, hey, welcome, and then schedule a call with me, and here's the link. So I have a super simple spreadsheet, and I've indicated which people already have a scheduled meeting, so I don't need to send an email to them with, you know, reminder that they have to book a call with me. But for those of the people that have not yet scheduled a meeting, I actually want to send that trigger, that reminder email saying, you know, here's the link and book a call with me. So you might think, okay, this is super simple, but imagine you have like a list of 300 people or maybe 3,000 people that usually you will have to like copy the email address, go to Gmail, write the email, paste the email address, send, and then do this like maybe 300 times. That will take you days probably to do this. Whilst here, I invite you to build that tool, to build that flow in n8n, because if you have a spreadsheet, you don't even have to leave the spreadsheet to send emails. You can just indicate which rows, so which email addresses need to be sent to, and then it will automatically send those emails to those people with the messages that you indicate here in the subject line and in the message. And afterwards, because it's not only about sending, you also want to know that the email has been sent. So yes, you can check in Gmail that an email has been sent because you see this in your sent folder. But I also want to see, because I don't want to go again back and forth to Gmail to check if emails have been sent, right? Like that would take me more time. I want to stay in my Google Sheet, and I'll actually see that the status of the email has been updated to send successfully. And I can actually see when an email has been sent. So just kind of like verify, okay, when was the last time that I communicated with that person? So let's do this. Let's see if I can actually build this in 15 minutes because I don't have that much time. And I'll show you how to build this in n8n. So there will be a link sent after this webinar. I've created this template in n8n if you have an account. You can just use it for free. So you just go to that link, you click on use for free, and you can copy it and then get straight started in your project. So once you copy this template, you'll have this workflow already pasted into your first kind of project within n8n. So it's super simple because you don't have to like build everything from scratch. So it will actually look like this. And again, if you feel like you're stuck, I also have a guide on YouTube that follows step-by-step how to build it. And I also have a copy of spreadsheet, so a very sample example file from Google Sheet that you can copy and you can customize to whatever purpose that you have for your own work or for your own projects. So we're just going step by step, from left to right, and I'll show you how those things have to be executed. We have to start with a trigger because we want maybe I'll call it a bot, let's say. Like the bot will go to your Google Sheet, let's say every day or every hour or every minute. That's where you, or even every second, can you imagine? You can say that you want, for example, every hour to just check if the data is being updated real time. Maybe you want to actually have the trigger to really be set on seconds. But if you're fine with like, okay, I'll have a bot go into the data sheet every single hour, and if there's something new or updated, just carry on with that activity, then for now I'll just keep it for 1 hour. And I execute the step. And I do this because I want to just check, is the system talking to me correctly? So I'll actually see that I've manually turned on the trigger. So I can see it's September 8th. It's almost 12:30. And everything is loading correctly. So you see, this is all the data that I'm getting just from executing that step. So the first node is green because it's working. And now I'll actually hook up with the Google Sheet that I want to work with. So in my case, this sheet is in my drive from Ladies Built with AI. So you need to ensure that you're actually authorizing. So you're actually first logging in with your right Google account that has the right Gmail that has this spreadsheet in it. So in that case, you're adding, I've already have it added, but let's say if you're starting from scratch, you actually want to create a new credential. So here you'll have to sign in with your Google account where you have this spreadsheet in your drive, and just go in through the simple procedures like logging in, giving access to particular tasks. So for now, I'll close it because I already have it added. You ensure that you're working with the sheet within the document. So it's the sheet that's called sample sheet in this case. And that you're asking the bot to just go through every single row because it will have to read particular trigger per row to see which email has to be fired. So in this case, I have a couple of different spreadsheets, but I'm ensuring that I select the spreadsheet from, you can see the same title. And that I'm also working with the right worksheet because I also have a worksheet called instructions, but I have to ensure that I'm working with the sample sheet because if you look at my example, I also work with sample sheet. And then I execute step. And what I'm getting is a output of everything that's in that spreadsheet. So for example, if you can look at the first row, so Emma Clark with this particular email address She hasn't yet scheduled a meeting with me, so I want to send her that email with, saying, hello, welcome, and then here's a link to book a call. And you can see that n8n has actually read this this data. So I have all of the metadata and everything which is for that particular person. I have it here, but I can also click on table. So I will actually get similar kind of overview that I had in Google Sheets, that I also have it here in a table form. And it's all displaying nicely. So I have 7 people, 7 rows. If I actually go back to the spreadsheet, I can actually see that, yep, I have 7 rows. So it's showing me that it's reading my Google Sheet correctly, and I'm linking it to the right file. And now I'm going to tell the bot, let's say, that they have to only look for people that, or for the rows, let's say, that have the trigger called scheduled for send. So don't send an email to people that have other things other than scheduled for send, because we don't want to send an email to someone who has already booked a meeting, right? So what you can do is, I'm just going to show you quickly. You can just drag and drop. So you don't need to like type code, but if you want to, feel free to do it, because it's always good for your learning purposes. But I am working with the trigger. So if my trigger says that this row is scheduled for send, then please fire an email to that person. But I also want to make sure that I actually have particular set of metadata. So for example, maybe you need an ID, maybe you need the buyer's first name. If you also want to personalize the email, like for example, you'll say, hi, Emma. You actually want to make sure that you have Emma in the column called buyer first name. So ensure that you have buyer first name and it exists. Ensure also that you have an email address and it exists, because otherwise it won't fire an email. And ensure also that you have a subject line, because if you have an empty subject line, so for example here, I already had them pasted here, or you can also have like a logic, with very simple formulas in Google Sheet. If you don't have a subject line and you will fire an email to somebody, you can actually get spammed, or, no one will open your email. So you want to ensure that those things are kind of in place. And what I do right now when I click on execute step, I'm telling, okay, this is a spreadsheet. I had 7 different rows with data. Please only filter out the ones that have to get an email. So in this case, I see that I only have 5 that passed on that filter. So if I look in my spreadsheet, is it actually correct? Yes, it's correct, because out of the 7 ones, the 2 ones were not applicable, so don't send an email to them. So that means that 5 other rows need to get my email. And I get that here. I can also still see it in a table form. So the ones that are kind of filtered out are in my table view here. Great. Let's go to send an email step. So we'll actually add the Gmail in this case. We can also add other email providers. And just like I did in the first step, make sure that you also log in with the Gmail account that you want to send emails from. So let's say it doesn't have to be the same one as where you have your spreadsheet, by the way. So I've already done this. And here's where you decide, okay, do I actually want to send an email, or do I maybe first want to start with a draft? Because I can imagine in those kind of flows, it can be a little bit tricky if you're sending emails to real email addresses. So if you want to first experiment, I would encourage you to just say draft, because then you'll see that this action is completed, but it's only in your draft folder, like you haven't sent a real email. But in my case, I have been testing with some of my sample emails, and I'm comfortable with these ones that I can send it to. So I'm just actually going to carry on with send a real email. So send a message. Those are the settings. And here it's where you indicate, and it's again the same kind of things, like you can drag and drop. So I'm sending it to, and I need an email address. Oh. And I need a subject line. So I'll again like drag and drop stuff to subject line. And I'll have an email type, which is an HTML, because it needs to be formatted in a certain way. I have a hyperlink in it, so I want to ensure that it's not like displaying, rows of text in my email, but it's like nicely formatted with spaces and everything. And add the message. So this is the message that I had in my Google spreadsheet, and I'm just basically adding it here. And let's see, it's actually going to send stuff right now, so it's kind of exciting. Yeah, done. So also be careful if you're doing this for real stuff and you're sending stuff. If you're adding it and you're executing step, you've already sent an email. So if you will build the entire flow and then you'll actually turn it on, it might be that you send the email twice, because here you've already executed the step. So I want to show you, be careful. And if you first want to build it, execute it, but don't send, then I'll just invite you to change it to draft. But that's just one little, tip, because you cannot actually send multiple emails as a mistake. So it actually sent an email. So shall we go and check it out? So that was the previous flow that I had with an agent. And if I go to there you go. So you can see that it has sent, for what I can see, because it's now 12:34, it has actually sent 5 email addresses. So you see those were the test emails that I had, but it did send an email from my Ladies Book with AI Gmail with the text that I wanted, and also formatted in the way that I wanted. So for example, here I would say book a time, and you get a link to my calendar. So there you go. I've actually now sent 5 emails just like that. Imagine if you had 300, this will also be done in a second. And I didn't even have to go to Gmail to write them or to copy them or paste them. It was literally executed from this simple spreadsheet. But I also want to add another step, and that's updating me that the emails have been sent. So I'm just going to keep on with the flow. I'm going to combine them. So what I need is I need the data from the Gmail with the data that I had from my table. I actually want to combine them because I want to show you that the table that we had before will be enriched with the data from Gmail. So for example, with every table row that I had, so here I can see that Emma Clark, yes, she got an email because I see that it's been sent. So this is the step that I need to kind of combine those two actions together in one table. And here I will actually say, I need the particular metadata. So I need the order ID, I need someone's first name, I need their email address, because I'll need to pass it on to Google Sheet again to update that a particular email has been sent, or this particular row has been updated with the email that I wanted them to receive. And I'm going to the last step where, again, I'm linking with the Google Sheet that I had here. So you just basically select the one that you had. You update the row right now, because the action that happens is you've sent an email to Emma, but if you were here working with the spreadsheet and the email has been sent, you wouldn't notice that this email has been sent, because the trigger in column H still says scheduled for send. So let's take that step and update it to send successfully, and also add the timestamp of the email that has been sent. So I can actually see when that email has been sent. So I will say I want to update the row. I'm again selecting the example data from MailMerge. I'm creating again the sample sheet. So selecting the sheet that I was working in, and I'm going to update the field manually. You can also have different settings, but I'm actually going to do this manually for now. And it's kind of like a VLOOKUP Excel command where you're matching, you're looking up the rows based on order ID in this case. So you're matching, using this to match what was before, what was afterwards, and what has to be updated. And I'm going to, in the column trigger, so that was the column here, trigger, I'm actually going to, every time an email has been sent, so it has passed a filter, it received an email, please update that column with a value called sent successfully. You can type it and add also, this is kind of like a JSON command, so add the timestamp of the email that's been sent. So I'm going to execute it. And by the way, if you're getting errors, so you might sometimes get like red stuff and saying that it hasn't actually completed successfully. There's always, you see here this star, it's called assistant, I think AI assistant. So you can actually talk to the AI assistant from n8n to say like, okay, help me fix that problem, or tell me what I'm doing wrong that I'm not getting this workflow going. So if you go back to my spreadsheet, you can actually see I haven't done anything. Like it just updated on its own. So the emails that have been sent, the trigger has changed to send successfully, and I also get the timestamp from the email when it was sent. Let's say that if let's say Daniel actually let's say that Daniel hasn't actually scheduled a meeting, then I actually want to again send him the message. So let's see if that will also change. So for now, I'm going to save that flow and let me put it to active and see if actually the things will happen. I might though change the trigger to, let's change it for now for like a second, I guess. Just to show you that because Daniel has canceled his meeting, I want to send him a reminder if that has been done as well. So let me just, yeah, we might actually, yeah, you see. So you see that it actually changed. The email has been sent. And let me just quickly to confirm, see if Daniel has received my email. So Daniel was actually called test2, and you can see that Daniel has now also received an email. So I haven't written anything in Gmail, but yet updating a spreadsheet has caused an email to be sent. So that's, I'm just going to put it for now for inactive, because again, it's for testing purposes, but you can see there's been like a lot of back and forth to set it up. But what you can do is, let's say if you think about a particular workflow that you have, or maybe something costs you a lot of time, I would first recommend go to ChatGPT and just describe it. Just talk like, you know, what is it that you have to do? What is it that costs you a lot of time? What is that maybe you want to speed up? And ask ChatGPT to help you with designing this flow in n8n or any other tool that you want to add. Also ask like what type of nodes do you need to have? So those like steps that we were going through, and what type of logic and triggers need to be done. And you can think like, oh my God, this is a lot, and I'm not going to build that. But ChatGPT really helps you step by step to go through this and to help you build this in n8n. And for this particular workflow, I just worked with Google Sheets. You can also make a copy from the sheet that I had and just even first use it for like experimentation. So like change the columns to your own preferences and just start experimenting in n8n and to see if that will actually work for you. And then again, because it has to be built in n8n, it will take time to build it. But once it's working, like in this case, you get everything in green and you see that you're getting the output that you kind of programmed, then you can just leave it and it just keeps on working as you schedule it. And you actually don't even have to go back to this because it just runs in the background. So yes, it does take time to build it. You need to probably go through some learning curve to understand how it works. But once you have it and it works, then you can just basically go off to another task whilst this one is already being automated. So if you think like, okay, that's kind of an interesting example and exercise for myself, go and visit this link, because if you click on bit.ly/n8n, dash mail dash merge, you'll see that you'll end up in this screen. And instead of building everything like step by step, you can actually just go to this template. I've put it there as a creator. You can use it for free and it will just load into your project. And if you still feel like you're stuck, there's a YouTube video that explains it step by step. So, because I've been talking a lot, now it's actually your turn. So why not take this week to first of all, think about the things that maybe take you a lot of time, or there's something that you can automate out your work and make you more productive, and start building this. Play around with ChatGPT, see how far it can get you to actually help you in designing your flow, and go to n8n. You have a trial for 2 weeks for free, so you can actually build this flow with the instructions from ChatGPT, and you can build it. And even if you're stuck, you get the AI component in there, the AI assistant that can kind of help you debug and solve the problem. And I'll actually hold you accountable for this week, because like it's really good to learn new things. It's September. That's where a lot of like new kind of goals are happening after summer. And why not start this week? And if you've managed to build something, then share your win. So showcase it, show it on LinkedIn, show it on X, or even if you just want to comment below on this YouTube video, like show me. I'm really curious to see what you've been automating, and tag Ladies Build with AI so I can find it faster. And for now, if you feel that's been fun and maybe you're enthusiastic to do more, just know that I have courses where we really build those kind of things. Maybe not always on automation, but we focus on websites or simple apps that we can build with AI. So if you feel like this is something for you and you want to also upskill yourself, check out the courses on Ladies Build with AI website. I also have right now morning classes, so not only in the evening. If you feel like you have some time in the morning, please check them out, and you'll be an AI builder in just 6 hours. So why not try it? And for now, I will actually stop presenting this one, and I'll leave some time because we have like 15 minutes for Q&A. So in case you have questions, I'll leave the room for questions, and I'll also just showcase the one that are popping up. And if there are no questions, then that's also fine, because you have like 15 minutes of your break still, so you're off to maybe building your first flow. But if there are any questions, post them in the comment link. And by the way, if you feel like you don't have this interface to leave your questions, it's probably because you're not logged in with YouTube. So you might log in with your YouTube right now and then refresh this page. I'll be still here, and then that's where you should have the Q&A box enabled, so you can actually leave your question. I'll wait for a couple of minutes, so that's fine. Hopefully you enjoyed the session. I've demoed it today for the first time live, so you never know how those things happen when you're doing it live. It's always exciting, but hopefully you got inspired, and you can see that you can actually, even with simple exercises, get up to speed with automation, learn new tools, and maybe even crave for more and add up new components like adding an AI agent, and build those flows where you actually interact with an AI agent and you let it do your stuff as you instruct it. If you also have questions afterwards and you don't want to ask a question here, that's also fine. You can drop me a DM on LinkedIn. You can also just post a comment here on this video below after the live session, or you can just basically chase me through email or LinkedIn. You can send me a message and I'll get back to you if you have a question. And I think for now, because I don't see anything showing up, or someone is taking a lot of time to write a question, which can also be, I'm going to stop here. It's almost 10 to 1, so I want to thank everybody for attending the live session today. The recording will be available on the YouTube channel, and if you have any questions or you're interested, visit ladiesbuiltwithai.com. And for now, I want to thank you and have a good rest of Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.